The Lord said, there's more to come. There's much more to come. ACIA Messiah, this is only the beginning. Take notice of what I have told you, my friends. X marks the spot. ACTIA Messiah, solar flare. CTIA Messiah, what am I telling you? A change is coming about. I see, you will see it spreading around the news. CTIA Messiah. My land, I call for freedom. ACIA Messiah. Oh, America, where have you been? Amasaya, the land of the brave and the courageous, the home of the free. What am I telling you? Amasaya, things unheard of are about to happen across your land. ACIA Messiah, you will be surprised. Suddenly, the earth will quake and shake, and you will know who I am, and it is I, the Lord your God, who speaks to you. Yesiaya Messiah, my prophet tells the truth. Setiaya Messiah, I see an exclamation point. Aditihitihaya Messiah, the solar flares will come more frequently. Your systems will break down. ACTIA Messiah. The gridline prepare. ACTCECIM. This is only a forecoming of things. CTIA Messiah. A foreshadowing. I tell you the truth. Amasihesia indicators all around you. Amasihesia Messiah. Arama. This is not new. I told you before. Amasihesia Messiah. You will be surprised suddenly. ACTCIA Messiah. UramamamayeCIA Messiah. So I was asking the Lord, okay, this solar flare, which he has said in previous words, he has talked about solar flares coming. Cancer in your bodies, radiation, solar flares, pertinent information for these times you are living in. Radiation, solar flares, radiation, solar flares. And one has came and it knocked down cellular services, happens to be AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. But he was saying, listen to this. Remember I was telling you guys about X and the people who put X after their name? Take notice that it's an X flare. And the first, I basically say social media outlet or news outlet that was reporting it was X, formerly known as Twitter. Nothing is a coincidence, guys. Nothing is a coincidence. They see and he's been telling us X marks the spot. And the next eclipse in April will be an X over Texas. You see, I am showing you. Buried treasures inside. Do you know who I am? Can you see? All that I've called you to be. Amen. Say, I am Messiah. Get it right. It will happen soon. Commencement is taking place for many. Amasihesia, my bride. Amasihetia, Messiah. The wedding day is soon. Aramasihesia, Messiah. The morning feast. Setihesia, Messiah. Aramamahesia, Messiah. Uramama engage. ACIA Messiah. Shout from the mountaintops, I am your God. ACIA Messiah. Tranquility is coming to all who speak it. ACIA Messiah. Shalom, peace into your atmospheres. ACIA Messiah. Now is the time.
Video here on a rather strong flare coming in to the X-ray flux chart right now. This is coming off of that giant sunspot here that I've been chatting about recently, how it's been showing quite a bit of complexity. 3590 is the culprit. Blasted off a decent X-flare. This is just a few minutes behind here on the UV filter ray. That will no doubt look very awesome here in a little bit. But it does look like we're seeing some X-flare activity right now as an X1.6. That's currently what it is at right now. It has not peaked. So it's possible it looks like this may be going back up here a little bit. X-flare activity. It seems as though whenever we get these large flaring events, and this one's kind of facing the Earth as well, could just be enough to stir things up across the area. A little bit of activity there at Mount St. Helens coming in, and it looks like Northern California showing a little spike on that as well for earthquake activity. So we'll watch it. Definitely, it does seem as though whenever we get these large flaring events, and this one's kind of facing the Earth as well, could just be enough to stir things up across the area. A little bit of activity there at Mount St. Helens coming in, and it looks like Northern California showing a little spike on that as well for earthquake activity. So we'll watch it. It's be enough to stir things up across the area. A little bit of activity there at Mount St. Helens coming in, and it looks like Northern California showing a little spike on that as well for earthquake activity. So we'll watch it. Definitely, it does seem, the relationship between earthquake activity and space weather events are key, I think, into, hopefully one day being able to take a look at, the relationship between the two and make a scientific theory on them.
All right, Deborah Brooks, sounds good. Of course, we continue to stay on top of breaking news right now. If you're waking up and you're having trouble with your smartphone, you're likely an AT&T customer. They are experiencing a nationwide outage, maybe even beyond that. It's impacting those carriers. We've not heard any carriers beyond that, but if you're on the AT&T network, it's an issue.
Or if you rely on the AT&T network, you could be affected as well. People are having problems with calls and with texting, and they might even be unable to call 911. This is something that is impacting our systems at Fox 45 here as well. Fox 45's Morgan Parrish is live following this breaking news story for us this morning. Morgan, good morning to you. And we really are still kind of trying to figure out exactly what's going on here.
Hey, good morning. That's right. Yeah, so AT&T hasn't said anything yet about this outage. If you were like me this morning, you may have thought that it was just your own personal phone. We know the outages started happening between 4 and 4:30 this morning. And if you are still experiencing this, and we know some users are getting their service back, you'll see SOS at the top of your phone, which means you can really only make emergency phone calls to 911. But again, this isn't just impacting people here in Florida. This is happening coast to coast. And again, people waking up, going to work this morning, or my thought process, people going to the airport and may have to check in for their flights. This is really a huge disruption and causing a lot of problems for people. Now, again, we've been trying to reach out to first responders in the area to see how they are handling this. We've made calls out to Orange County Fire and Rescue, Seminole County Fire and Rescue, and of course Flagler County, which they did post on social media about this. Now, the Flagler County Sheriff's Office said, they tweeted saying subscribers are having problems calling or texting 911 this morning. And now let's take a look at the down detector map. So this shows problems that have been reported by AT&T, and you can see that there are several red dots in major cities across the country. And we were looking at that map, and we could see heavy outages in east of Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Georgia, North Carolina. The list goes on. And then here in Florida, it looks like Jacksonville was hit the hardest, but of course it's all throughout the state. So of course, users have taken to X this morning, just expressing their frustration. I tweeted about the outage around 4:30, 5 o'clock this morning. We were looking at that map, and we could see heavy outages in east of Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Georgia, North Carolina. The list goes on. And then here in Florida, it looks like Jacksonville was hit the hardest, but of course it's all throughout the state. So of course, users have taken to X this morning, just Arkansas, Georgia, North Carolina. The list goes on. Users have taken to X this morning, just expressing their frustration. I tweeted about the outage around 4:30, 5 o'clock this morning. I had some users saying the same thing was happening to them in New Orleans.
Across the country, many AT&T wireless customers woke up to no service this morning, a widespread outage impacting major cities.
And now a federal investigation is underway to determine if this was a cyber attack. Eyewitness News reporter Leticia Juarez joins us now live with the latest. Leticia?
Yeah, that's right, Philip and Giovanna. They woke up to no calls, no texting, and no internet services on the apps that many of us depend on, especially as we're waking up in the morning. Now, this disruption on the AT&T network service disrupted services from coast to coast. Now, the good news, though, is that AT&T says that 75% of its operations are now back online, but the telecommunication company has not yet said what caused the issue. Of course, there are several possibilities that are being floated. Two sources briefed on the situation tell ABC News that the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security are among the agencies urgently investigating to determine if the outage was the result of a cyber attack, a hack, or a technical malfunction. The investigation is of the highest priority given that the critical nature of the company's operations and the fact that the FirstNet first responder network has been affected by this outage as well.